greetings and salutations, one and all. We've made it. We're at the end of the night shift week for this week. How you doing? Happy hump day night to you. How are you doing? For those of you who are in the US, if you haven't heard yet, getting to crawl out from under your rock. The 45th presidential seat holder has been impeached. I didn't even say greetings yet to everybody. I'm out there putting out news. How you doing? Big ups to each and every one of you. Welcome to all those locked in right now, those on TuneIn Radio. Big ups to you, those on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew on TuneIn. Welcome. Those who have it locked on PEMGTV.com, all the affiliate stations carrying the show right now. Big ups. Welcome. Those who are locked in on KevinStew.com, welcome to you. Glad to have you. I couldn't do it without you. And you have my word, I would not even try.
Ladies, it's either you're in or you're out. But this we're talking about right here, look. Show me where you're working with. That bomb, you want is the perfect fit. Girlfriend, show me where you're working with. When you ain't not gonna know the perfect mix. Show me where you're working with. That bomb, you want is the perfect fit. Girlfriend, show me where you're working with. When you ain't not gonna know the perfect mix. No, we not gonna know, girl. Jiggity bumper, we not gonna know, girl. Drop the bumper, shit the tink.
Kicking it off with a little Ill Blaze, a track called Show Me.
Ladies, it's either you're in or you're out. But this we're talking about right here, look. Show me where you're working with. That bomb, you want is the perfect fit. Girlfriend, show me where you're working with. When you ain't not gonna know the perfect mix. Show me where you're working with. That bomb, you want is the perfect fit. Girlfriend, show me where you're working with. When you ain't not gonna know the perfect mix. No, we not gonna know, girl. Jiggity bumper, we not gonna know, girl. Drop the bumper, shit the tink, cause I like come. Look for you push it out, I was right come. What things am I mind that you want to do to you, girlfriend? You think that I fight time, girl? Show me where you're working with. That bumper, you want is the perfect fit. Girlfriend, show me where you're working with. When you ain't not gonna know the perfect mix. Show me where you're working with. That bumper, you want is the perfect fit. Girlfriend, show me where you're working with. When you ain't not gonna know the perfect mix. No, we not gonna know, girl. Jiggity bumper, we not gonna know, girl. Drop the bumper, we not gonna know, girl. Jiggity bumper, we not gonna know, girl. Drop the bumper. 6:30, I look, I want you to see this one, but it want that. Girl, wait for the thing like you want, break it off, I bounce by that, cause I love that, girl. Show me where you're working with. That bumper, you want is the perfect fit. Girlfriend, show me where you're working with. When you ain't not gonna know the perfect mix. Show me where you're working with. That bumper, you want is the perfect fit. Girlfriend, show me where you're working with. When you ain't not gonna know the perfect mix. No, we not gonna know, girl. Jiggity bumper, we not gonna know, girl. Drop the bumper, we not gonna know, girl. Jiggity bumper, we not gonna know, girl. Drop the bumper, shit the tink, cause I like come. Look for you push it out, I was right come. What things am I mind that you want to do to you, girlfriend? You think that I fight time, girl? Show me where you're working with. That bumper, you want is the perfect fit. Girlfriend, show me where you're working with. When you ain't not gonna know the perfect mix. Show me where you're working with. That bumper, you want is the perfect fit. Girlfriend, show me where you're working with. When you ain't not gonna know the perfect mix. No, we not gonna know, girl. Jiggity bumper, we not gonna know, girl. Drop the bumper, we not gonna know, girl. Jiggity bumper, we not gonna know.
Want to say thanks to Pulse Media Group for sponsoring this segment of the show.
No, we not gonna know, girl. Drop the bumper, we not gonna know.
Pulse Media Group and being in the moment is priceless. You want to give them a call. 754-999-6020. Or link them up on pulseemg.com.
Show me where you're working with. That bumper, you want is the perfect fit, girl.
They can capture your moment. They can stream your moment live.
Now the perfect mix. Show me where you're working.
They can provide you with services like you see right here on KevinStew.com. Whether it be a website, creating or hosting, or providing streaming services on your website. Pulse Media meet a group of a solution for you.
Go down, wine and go down, wine and go down, girl, drop the bumper. Show me where you working with. That bumper you want is the perfect fit.
Go ahead and give them a call.
Working with.
Drop them a line.
That's the perfect mix. Show me where you working.
Tell them you heard about them on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew.
Where you working with. That bumper you want is the perfect fit. Girlfriend, show me where you working with. Where you wine and go down, that's the perfect mix. Show me where you working with. That bumper you want is the perfect fit. Girlfriend, show me where you working with.
So,
Go down, that's the perfect.
if you show me what you're working with,
Wine and go down, girl, jiggle the bumper.
is that telling me something about you?
Down, wine and go down, girl, drop the bumper. Wine and go down, wine and go down.
Are you sharing a little secret of about yourself?
Go down, wine and go down, wine and go down, girl, drop the bumper. Show me
Or is it that it's not a secret and it doesn't need to be a secret?
where you wine and go down, that's the perfect mix. Show me where you
The sound of Ill Blaze,
up and you want is the perfect fit. Girlfriend, show me.
a track called Show Me.
Go down, that's the perfect.
So tonight on Real Talk, I don't know if it is foresight, hindsight, insight, or just dumb luck. But we're asking the question, what is character? And even before I did any greetings tonight, I was sharing late breaking news that the person holding the 45th seat, 45th presidential seat, has been impeached. The Donald has been impeached. And, you know, the question of what is character is one of those questions that comes to mind when talking about this 45th presidential seat holder. And I mentioned him as the 45th president to someone earlier, and they said, no, this man was no president. And I was like, wow, y'all throw some big rocks. You play rough. But, you know, a lot of people feel that way. And can't really blame them for feeling that way either. So, here we ask the question, what is character? You know, is it something that if you don't have it, you can get it? If you don't know where to find it, it can be taught. Is it necessary? Character, like honor, is a word we typically take for granted and probably have an affinity for. But likely, we never really had to define, and even we may struggle to even do so when asked. It's a word most men desire to have ascribed to them. And yet, the standards of its attainment require, well, they remain quite vague in modern age. It is certainly not a word that is used much these days. Definitely not as much as it was used back in the day, so to speak. Cultural historian Warren Sussman researched the rise and fall of the concept of character, tracing its prevalence in literature and the self-improvement manuals and guides popular in different eras. What he found is that the use of the term character began in the 17th century and peaked in the 19th century. Sussman writes that embodied a culture of character. that kind of makes you think about when you look back at the period, the 17th century to the 19th century. You think of movies that you would watch that are set in old Europe, and you think of knights and noblemen. That's I know that's what comes to my mind. Does something different come to yours? During the 1800s, character was a key word in the vocabulary of Englishmen and Americans. And men were spoken of as having strong or weak character, good or bad character, a great deal of character or no character at all. Young people were admonished to cultivate real character, high character, and noble character, and told that character was the most priceless thing they could ever attain. Starting at the beginning of the 20th century, however, Sussman found that the ideal of character began to be replaced by that of personality. But character and personality are two very different things. And as we go through tonight, we're going to see how different they are. As society shifted from producing and to consuming, ideas of what constituted the self began to transform. The rise of psychology, the introduction of mass-produced consumer goods, and the expansion of leisure time offered people new ways of forming their identity and presenting it to the world. In place of defining themselves through the cultivation of virtue, people's hobbies, dress, and material possessions became the new means of defining and expressing the self. Sussman observed this shift through the changing content of self, the changing content of self-improvement, which went from emphasizing moral imperatives, and work to personal fulfillment and self-actualization. The vision of self-sacrifice began to yield to that of self-realization. Sussman writes, there was a fascination with the peculiarities of self, while advice manuals of the 19th century and some of the early 20th as well emphasized what a man really was and did. The new advice manuals concentrated on what others thought he was and did. In a culture of character, good conduct was thought to spring from a noble heart and mind. Now, with this shift, perception trumped inner intent. Readers were taught how to be charming, how to control their voice and make a good impression. A great example of this is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People from 1936. It focused on how to get people to like you and how to get others to perceive you as well versus trying to improve your actual inner moral compass. Isn't that what you find happening more often than not? And in some cases, people just don't really care. They just want to be popular. And if they're popular enough, then that's all that matters. I want to say big ups to Marlon. in the stew pot. I invite y'all to come and jump into the stew pot. It's where we keep things bubbling, and you know the water is always fine. So I always invite people to come and jump into the stew pot. What is a stew pot? It is the interactive portal that others would call a chat room. And because we're fancy over here on the night shift on kevinstew.com, we call it the stew pot. And I want to say big ups to Marlon Burrell, reggae music edutainer extraordinaire. It was while I was listening to his show that I heard the late breaking news of the impeachment. Marlon is one of those people that, and I'm not saying it because he's on. I'm not saying it because he is what would be considered a friend. I'm saying it because it's just what it is. Marlon is one of those people that you would say has character. What he says to you behind your back is the kind of thing that he'll say to your face. The opinions that he will hold behind closed doors is the kind of opinions that he would hold in front of a crowd. You know, he is one of those people that you'd consider to be just straight up and down kind of a guy. One of good character. I know some that I wouldn't really be able to say that much about them. And it is not because they're not nice people, but it's because they have done some not nice things. Sussman argues that the transformation from a culture of character to a culture of personality was ultimately about a shift from achievement to performance. Character was split into good and bad, personality into famous and infamous, or infamous, I should say. In a culture of personality, you could be famous without having done anything to earn it. I've seen that happen. Sussman illuminates this difference by noting that while the words most associated with character in the 19th century were citizenship, duty, democracy, work, building, golden deeds, outdoor life, conquest, honor, reputation, morals, manners, boy, integrity, and above all, manhood. The words most associated with personality in the 20th century were fascinating, stunning, attractive, magnetic, glowing, masterful, dominant, and forceful. There's nothing wrong with the cultivation of personality. And there's plenty of advice all over on how to cultivate a good personality. It can help you to navigate the world. It can help you to form relationships and become successful. But personality is absolutely no substitute, none, for character. And not just character, good character. And this should be the foundation of every man's life. Now, please note, when I say every man's life, I'm not talking about the male species. I'm talking about mankind. Because women need to have character too. Good character. Or else you end up being called some of the worst names that you can think of. And again, people mix up personality with having character. Don't do it. Understand the difference. Today, tonight, as we go through this, we're going to really be looking at the true nature of the forgotten ideal of character. And we're going to look at some of the writings from the 19th century and the early 20th century. Back when having character was paramount. And that is what we kind of want to bring back. You know, we really want to change the narrative, in that we want people to, when they start talking about having character, to know that we're really talking about being upstanding citizens, that when they set out, you know that they're out to do good things, positive things. They mean the best for their community and the members of it. So, what then is character? Let's start with that. The etymology of character is quite telling. The word comes from the Greek character, Charakter. This word means engraved mark, symbol, or imprint on the soul, and instrument for marking, and can be traced further back to the words for to engrave, pointed stake, and to scrape or scratch. That's the where the word character comes from. Anciently, a character was the stamp or marking impressed into wax and clay. And as Henry Clay Turnbull explained in 1894's Character Shaping and Character Showing, it served as, quote, another name for the signature or monogram, or personal superscription, or trademark of the potter, the painter, the sculptor, the writer, or any other artist or artisan or inventor. And this is as indicative of the personality of the maker or the distinctive individuality of the article marked. It is a visible token by which a thing is distinguished from every other thing with which it might otherwise be confused. Basically, what I get from that is they're saying the character. If we were to apply that today and apply it to us as beings, character will be that one defining thing that makes you different from someone else. Now, is that too simple a way to put it? Or is that what you get from it too? 773-789 Stu gets you in touch. I want to hear from you. 773-789-7839. In the 17th century, the word came to be associated with the sum of qualities that defines a person. These qualities included a man's intellect, thoughts, ideas, motives, intentions, temperament, judgment, behavior, imagination, perception, emotions, loves, and hates. All of these components, William Stratton Bruce writes in 1908, The Formation of Christian Character, quote, go to the shaping and coloring of a man's character. They'll all have some part in producing that final type of self, that ultimate habit of will into which the man's whole activities at last shape themselves. The balance of these components within the soul of each man and the way one or another predominates over others is what makes a character unique and sets apart one individual from another. It should not be thought that character is synonymous merely with personal tastes, temperaments, and preferences. Things like how you dress, your favorite music, or whatever you're introverted or extroverted have, or whether you're introverted or extroverted, have little to do with character, if anything at all. Rather, character is defined in how your habits, motives, thoughts, and along that line, how they relate to morality, particularly as it concerns integrity. Character was defined as your moral self, the crown of a moral life, and referred to as moral structure. Something you build through virtuous behavior. Now, Bruce writes, quote, character is nature and nurture. It is nature cultured and disciplined, so that natural tendencies are brought under the sway of the moral motive. His natural individuality marks off a man from his fellows by clear and specific differences, but this individuality may be non-moral. To produce character, it must be brought under discipline and organized into the structure of a true moral being. Above all, character includes a choice, a settled habit or bent of will, so that it can be seen in its outcome in conduct. Character takes up the raw material of nature and temperament and weaves these into the strong, well knit texture of a fully moralized manhood. Character is that thing that when you enter a room and you do something, it shows that this is the type of person you are. You know, do what you say and say what you do. This shows your character. Not the fact that you have 5 million people seeing it, but that 5 people can say independently, this is what he does, because this is who he or she is. This is their character. I had asked a question a little over a week ago. I had asked a question. How would someone define you? Would they define you as how you are now or how you used to be? And someone responded to me and said, it all depends on who you ask. Should it really? Shouldn't everybody be able to come up with the same answer about who you are? Why would you show one set of people one thing and another set of people another thing? Then you would really be a character. More of a minstrel. An actor. You know, what do you think your character is? How do you define your individual character? And does that match up with what other people say? Now, if it doesn't, maybe, just maybe, you're not showing the real you. Or you're not seeing the real you. Either way, somebody needs to make an adjustment. Well, you definitely need to make an adjustment. Either with what you're showing or what you're seeing. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to talk some more. It's a night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, and we're focusing on character. Real Talk Wednesday. Come on, talk with me. Let me hear your comments. Call me up, 773-789-STEW, 773-789-7839. Jump into the stew pot. Post your comments. You can remain anonymous. I'm fine with it. You know, I don't have to know who you are to repeat what you say or to have a conversation with you. And this is a judgment-free zone. So whatever you say, whatever position you take in this, you're not judged by it. You're just sharing. So when we come back, we're going to talk some more. Call a friend, tell a friend, drag a friend, whichever way. And then when you get them in, you call up some people you don't like. Because information is for everyone. We'll be right back.
Policy Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us, 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us, 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulse Media Group.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school,
In math,
I learned that I'm ugly
I
and
learned
useless.
that I'm trash.
And in gym,
In biology,
I learned that I'm
I
pathetic
learned that I'm fat
and a
and
joke.
stupid.
In history,
Today in
I learned that
school,
I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick.
And in
And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell.
and in
In chemistry, I learned that no one
In
likes me.
biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid.
In English,
And in
I learned
math,
that I make people
I
sick.
learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today
The only thing I didn't learn today.
The only thing I didn't learn,
Is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
It takes an entire village to raise a child. Hello, I'm Paul Campbell, here to talk about Palace. Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. This nonprofit group supports students facing serious obstacles from entering or continuing their studies, not because the grades are failing, but due to the lack of financial support.
Over the past 8 years, Palace has awarded 600 scholarships valued at approximately 50.3 million Jamaican dollars, or 415,000 US dollars.
Together, we must build a better future for our children. Please visit www.palace1.org and make your donation to brighten the future of a deserving child. Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
Hi, this is Cara Manti, and you're listening to DJ Kevin Stew, and this is The Night Shift.
Remember the days we used to dress as kings? The sound of IKEA. A track called Worth His Weight in Gold. rendition of Rally Round.
Rally round the red, gold, black and green. A bright shining light.
I want to say thank you to Althea. Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hand sponsors this segment of the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Althea is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. Just give her a call, 954-655-9000, or reach out to her by email, fairlater@att.net. Call her, make an appointment, she comes to you. Just please get off her table when she's done. Don't fall asleep on the table. You'll be tempted to. You'll be comfortable enough to. But she'll need to do to others what she just did to you. Please don't be greedy and take it all for yourself. If you're gonna pay for it, I'm sure she doesn't mind though. There you go, Rally. The sound of Ikea. And her rendition of Rally Round, worth his weight in gold. Alright, so a comment posted in the stew pot. People have perspectives, opinions, and biases, which aren't always accurate when they decide who they think you are. Two people can see you in the same exact situation and come away with different ideas of who they think you are. True. But are you going to be in that situation today and do one thing, and be in that situation tomorrow and do something else? Or are you going to do the same thing? That's the question. That's something. You know, you feel something like, I have facial hair, so if you see me, if you see me looking funny and taking things out of my mouth, you know, I feel hair in my mouth. Come to whatever conclusion you wish, I'm fine with it. So, there are some qualities of true character. Those of you just tuning in, we're talking about character tonight. And I encourage you to join in. Either you share in the stew pot, or you send me a text, or if you're overseas, you can Skype Kevin.stew. I'll hear from you still. Yeah, I'll hear from you still. My Skype name is Kevin.stew. So you can Skype me. But you can call, you can text. All opinions, all comments within reason are welcome. I do ask that you keep it clean, because this is a family type show. So we want to keep it clean. We don't want to offend anyone. We're not trying to. But at the same time, I do respect what you have to say, and you're not judged by what you say. In fact, I'm not in the judging business. I'll hear from you, huh? Nice. Real nice. So, to have a better understanding of the nature of character, we're gonna call on James David Hunter. And he laid out the 3 qualities of true character in his modern book, The Death of Character. Quoted from the book, we cannot differ as to the need in our national character of those qualities of self-control, of quick and unquestioning obedience to duty, of joyful contempt of hardship, of of zest in difficult and arduous undertakings, which rightly or wrongly we consider soldierly, which we attribute in such rich measure to our forefathers, and which the moral exigencies of our national task today as predominantly demand. To put these primary and elementary needs as sharply as possible, let us call them discipline and austerity. Now we're getting things into some type of perspective. Our American character needs more of both. Robert Elliott Spear, The Stuff of Manhood, Some Needed Notes on American Character, 1917. See how long ago this was? Don't you think those words apply to today? Right now. When you think about our communities, when you think about our young people, notice I didn't say our young men, I said our young people of both genders. Don't you think that this would apply to them? Apply to us all today? The one quality most associated with character in the 19th century was self-mastery, the dominion of an individual over his impulses and desires, so that he was in control of them and not them of him. A man of self-mastery embodies the kingship of self-control and can direct his will and make his own choices, rather than being a slave to his base impulses. Moral discipline is also a quality that not only allows a man to bear hardship stoically, but even to actively seek out a rougher, more austere life, one that eschews the kind of indulgence that deprives character of needed training and leads to softness. The pursuit of character does not have as its sole end the cultivation of self. Sussman notes that it is in fact a group of traits believed to have social significance and moral quality. And he found that the most popular quote related to character during the 19th century was Ralph Waldo Emerson's definition of it as moral order through the medium of individual nature. This is to say that character has always been about something greater than self and included the self as part of a community. Moral attachment means being committed to a set of higher ideals and to acting, and if need be, sacrificing for the greater good of one's community. Spear beautifully explains the meaning of moral attachment. He says, the moral elements of individual character are inevitably social. When a man has trained himself, to use the words of Lord Morley in dealing with Voltaire's religion, to look upon every right in thought, every duty omitted from act, each infringement of the inner spiritual law which humanity is constantly perfecting for its own guidance and advantage, and an ungrateful infection weakening and corrupting the future of his brothers, his views each struggle within his own soul against evil, and each firm aspiration after purity, not as a mere incident in his own spiritual biography, but as a fight for social good and for the perfecting of the nation and of humanity. And the struggle for social good and the perfecting of human life is fundamentally a struggle for the triumph of ideals in personal wills. God can take hold of men only in man. He revealed himself and wrought redemption less by a social process than by a personal incarnation. And the only way of which we know to uplift the life of the nation and to fit it for its mission and its ministry is to reform our own and other men's characters, and ourselves to be what manner of man among men we would have the nation be among nations. For a man to love himself so much that he never thinks of his neighbors, to blind his eyes so completely to consequences that he can live for the passing moment, this is a very easy philosophy. And the man or the woman who is able to practice it will seem, for a while, to live in the sunshine, a fine butterfly, smooth going life. All this is easier than to say not what is my impulse, but what ought I. Not what do I like, but what is best for all the world. Not what is the easy way, but what is the hard way over which the feet go that carry the burdens of mankind, that bear the load of the world. The core of all character lies in individuality. Character is a moral fact, and until life is individual, it is not moral. And by individual, we mean something single, separate, and alone that cannot be accounted for from outside, cannot be ungrouped under any general laws, cannot be extracted out of outside conditions. Its actions must spring from out of itself. It makes them happen. And you have to enter into its inner life and secrets if you would know why it does anything. However, alike the circumstances may be, no other being would do exactly what this character does, or say what it says. It is this seal of individuality which it sets on everything that comes out from it, which makes it a character. Sometimes it stamps its weakly, and then we say a person has, sometimes it stamps it weakly, and then we say a person has little or no character. Or sometimes it stamps it forcibly, and then we say, that is a man of character. A quote from Henry Scott Holland, Creed and Character, 1887. Makes you think that back then, people were a whole lot better than they are now. It makes you think that morals really played a part in daily life. It makes you think that the brighter days have gone and now we're living in darker times because we are misguided by what good character is. Character cannot develop in an environment in which ethical decisions are forced upon the individual. Character is a product of judgment, discretion, and choice, born from a man's free agency. A decision that is coerced cannot be a moral decision, and thus cannot be a decision of character. Davison summarizes the definition of character as character, in a classic sense, manifests itself as the autonomy to make ethical decisions, always on behalf of the common good, and the discipline to abide by that principle. So, it's not by the ability to remain popular or become popular. It's not making the popular decision. It's making the decision that works for the greater good of those in that community. Now, as I would typically say at the end of the night shift week, community is not just the development that you live in. When you think on a more broad scale, then you're thinking about the greater good of all those you come in contact with. So, the person that you don't know should be able to say this, the same or similar things of you by your actions as the person you do know. Agree or disagree? What say you? Let me find out. Jump into the stew pot on kevinstew.com. Drop me a line, whether it be a phone call or a text message, 773-789-STEW, 773-789-7839, or Skype me, kevin.stew. I want to hear from you. And that is HEAR, not HAIR. We're going to take another quick little break. When we come back, we're going to talk just a little bit more. It's a night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. And we're talking about character tonight. What is it? How do you get it? Is it necessary? What does it look like? Can you cultivate it? Questions we are trying to answer tonight. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Cara Manti, and you're listening to DJ Kevin Stew, and this is the Night Shift.
I'm in almost every school bus in classroom. You see me around the neighborhood, and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm one out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger.
Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help.
Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me. We are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
JTMC Music presents the highly anticipated, much talked about, The Juggling Rhythm Volume 1. This classic rhythm takes on a new life with tracks from both established artists and introduces some incredible new voices. Get your dancing shoes ready with The Juggling Rhythm, featuring international reggae dancehall artist Mr. Vegas, alongside Ian Sweetness, Ed Robinson, Jack Radix, Hezron, Dangling, Joanna Marie featuring Galaxy B, Danny Ranks featuring Jawiz, Ambalik, Christine Alicia, Yishka. Also the new sensations on the rhythm: Zeal, Danger Lee, Marquis Skelenar, Zachary. Available on all digital media outlets. The Juggling Rhythm. Get it, get it, get it.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless. Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
Hey, I'm representing for DJ Kevin Stew, working on the night shift radio show. Won't go changing like the weather, just to please the devil never. Will DJ Kevin Stew sell his soul? That's a word and honor. It's Christine representing word and honor. Selassie DJ Kevin Stew.
You know, I was just going to play a song, and at the last minute, I changed my mind because I need to play a different song. The problem is, this device here decided that it's not going to find it. All right, here we go.
No pain, no fire up in the sky. Will change my vision.
This is what happens when you change your mind at the last minute.
I won't go stumbling like the others who has gone before me. Never will I leave my pride. That's my shining armor. Yeah. Won't go changing like the weather just to please the devil. Never will I sell my soul. That's my word in honor. Yeah. Cause for what it's worth, I'm holding. Yeah. Much better than them, no. No giving to them. No. And through all the pain, keep fighting. Yeah. The only way to win, no giving to them. No. Them say chances are you never hold out. Cause them know in all your life, them say bad road. But no matter what you try, this without no. Whether you're in the deepest night or the light out. Sure, and the enemy get vamped out. Sure, and them bad like get hold out. Sure, the most time them just shout out. Good over evil with that doubt. I won't go stumbling like the others who has gone before me. Never will I leave my pride. That's my shining armor. Yeah. Won't go changing like the weather just to please the devil. Never will I sell my soul. That's my word in honor. Yeah. Cause for what it's worth, I'm holding. Yeah. Much better than them, no. No giving to them. No. Yes, through all the pain, keep fighting. Yeah. The only way to win, no giving to them. No. As if the wind beneath my wing should turn this all around, then let the test of time define. No pain, no fire up in the sky. No, will change now and for always, yeah. I won't go stumbling like the others who has gone before me. Never will I leave my pride, that's my shining armor, yeah. Won't go stumbling like the others just to please the devil. Never will I sell my soul, that's my word in honor, yeah. There's a chances are you're not gonna hold out, cause I know you're not your life, them set back.
This is the sound of Crescenti.
I want you to try this without no, but I get it deep.
A track called Word and Honor.
Every part of me, who have eyes to see, will see. Lord, I'm sad. I won't go stumbling like the others who has gone before me. Never will I leave my pride, that's my shining armor. Won't go changing like the weather just to please the devil. Never will I sell my soul, that's my word in honor, yeah.
That's my word and honor.
Stumbling like the others who has gone before me. Never will I.
So as we continue in the discussion about character,
Won't go changing like the weather.
if you consider that yourself to not be of good character, can you develop good character? Is that something that with a little bit of practice, with a little bit of help, can be developed? Good question, right? Well, since there's a bit of a nurture component to it, then I would think that it can be influenced. So you should be able to either pick up something along the way or be taught something along the way. Character gains through its expression and loses through its repression. Love grows through its expression, sympathy grows through its expression, knowledge grows through its expression. The artistic sense grows through its expression. The religious sentiment grows through its expression. The capacity for instruction, for administration, for command, these grow through their expression. The more a man does in any line of wise endeavor, the more he can do in that line. And the more of a man he is in that line. The refraining from the free expression of love or of sympathy or of knowledge or of the artistic sense or of the religious sentiment or of the power of instruction, of administration, of command, both limits the lessons that it limits and lessons, that which is repressed. To possess and to exhibit an admirable personal character is a duty incumbent on everyone. In order to possess such a character, its exhibit by its expression is a necessity. He who does not endeavor to express those traits and qualities which are the exhibit of an admirable personal character cannot hope to retain such a character, even if it were by his nature. And he who does endeavor to express them can hope to gain the character which they represent, even though he lacked it before. These are the words of Henry Clay Turnbull, Character Shaping and Character Showing, back in 1894. There are many things that engrave our character upon the clays of our lives and shape our character for better and for worse into a unique set of scratches and grooves. or worse, into a unique set of sketches and grooves, as well as our best. Sketches come with repetition, grooves come from repetition. Our character begins to be shaped from the very time we are born and is influenced by where we grew up and how we are raised. The examples our parents provide, religious and academic education, and things we learn from our neighbors. Our character can be dramatically altered by a life-changing tragedy. The contraction of a disease, a severe accident, the death of a parent, child, or spouse. Such events may turn a man bitter or cynical, or may cause him to discover energies of soul and feelings of hope and compassion which were previously unimagined. A man's character can also be greatly formed by a call to take upon himself a mantle of leadership during a crisis or emergency. An event that tests and exercises his physical and mental abilities. One of the greatest influences on our character is those with whom we surround ourselves. Spear says, the important elements of character making or character shaping, which we are most likely to overlook or undervalue, are the exceptional impressions made upon us by casual acquaintances in our earlier life, and the quieter influences exerted upon us or over us by those with whom we are closely associated in after years, when our characters are commonly supposed to be fully and finally established. If we could trace back to their first exhibit some of the characteristics which now mark us most distinctively, we should perhaps find that we owe their development not to the steady training in their direction received by us at home or in school, but to the sudden disclosure of their attractiveness in the life of someone whom we were with, but for a brief session. Or again, we should see that the temptations which try us most severely, and the evil thoughts and imaginings which have given us the greatest trouble in life, are the outgrowth of germs planted in our minds by persons of whom we have no distinct recollections apart from the harm they did to us. Nor is it the childhood only that our characters are shaped and directed by our associates. The best characters are always open to improvement and always in danger of deteriorating. Many a husband seems actually made over by his wife, and many a wife seems absolutely another person through her husband's influence after a few years of married life. It is perhaps a friend of our maturer years, whose purity and nobleness, whose gentleness and grace, whose spirit of fairness and charity, or whose well-defined views on every point of ethics where he has a conviction, impress us with the correctness and beauty of his ideal, gradually influence us to his way of thinking, and inspire us to strive towards his standards of judgment and feeling. Or again, our moral tone is lowered and our tastes are our moral tone is altered and our tastes shaped by intimate companionship companionship in social life or in business with one of grosser nature or of perverted and debased tendencies. Characteristics which have been long repressed in our nature come into new prominence, and those which had before distinguished us drop out of sight. So long as we live, our characters are in the formative state. And whether we be counted strong or weak, our characteristics are continually being reshaped and redirected by those whom we newly come to know and admire, or with whom we are newly brought into intimate association. A fresh ideal held before us, a purer, nobler, lovelier character coming distinctly into our range of observation and study, is something to thank God for. For it may be an inspiration to us and a help towards a better and higher development of our characters than we have realized before. As we can see, as we are learning, many factors, some of which are beyond our control, play a role in molding our character. But the single greatest influence on our character is that which we have ultimate power over: how we respond to circumstances. Writers of the 19th century agreed that the true exercise and test of a man's character was whether he would hold to his moral principles no matter what, how sorely tempted or how painful the repercussions. Holland said, at all costs, character must show itself to be free and above its circumstances. If a man is the creature of circumstances, we call him a man without character. Changing with all the changing hours, he has no self-identity, and character is that with which we identify a man. Character is vital and vigorous so far only as it insists on making itself free room for action amid the thronging events, and it dies down as soon as it fails to hold itself aloof and separate from circumstances. Character is a reaction from circumstances. It is the inner movement which encounters and withstands the shock of change and outward things. And it must therefore issue from a life that directs itself. Many men feel like character is something that can only be built during dramatic tests and crises. But it's truly the constant, habitual, horrid, routine acts of common life that swarm of the little judgments is made, such as form the character. We would do well to remember that we are being made every minute, and there's nothing we can do about it. You and I, as we walk and talk, eat and drink, marry and are given in marriage, work and play, go out and come in, we are changing. Those of you who would listen to my shows often or even talk with me one-on-one would often hear me say that change is inevitable. And if we're not changing, then we're stagnant. And anything that is stagnant is dead. So, as we go through life, our character is continuously being formed. We're continuously forming our character. So, the person that we probably were 3 years ago is not the person that we're going to be today. Because things have happened in that time. Things that have happened to shape our way of thinking about certain things or how we react to certain things. The death of someone, the birth of someone, the destruction of that item. These things affect us. And as a result, will mold us in various ways. So, can we develop a character? Yeah. And it is constantly being developed. Now, deciding that you're going to be an individual of character means choosing to live a more disciplined and less selfish life. So why undertake such a hard path? Why would you want to do so? And that selfish that I mentioned just now is not the selfish that I speak of. Right? And those of you who are regular listeners would be familiar with that. Both classical and biblical cultures believe that the character of each individual was tied to the health of the society as a whole. The founding fathers argued that the citizenry commitment to living a life of character was the key in the success or failure of the Republican experiment. The steady character of our countrymen. And Thomas Jefferson said, is the steady character of our countrymen is a rock to which we may safely moor. It is the manners and spirit of a people which preserve a republic in vigor. A degeneracy in these is a canker which soon eats to the heart of its laws and constitution. In a similar vein, James Madison wrote, "Is there virtue among us? If there be not, we are in a wretched situation. No theoretical checks, no form of government can render us secure. To suppose that any form of government will secure liberty or happiness without any form of virtue in the people is a chimerical idea." The founders rightly saw that without... Oh, I'm sorry. I lost my information here. See, this is what happens when using technology. My notes, I just lost my notes. All right, the founders rightly saw that without a people of character, there could be no trust and justice, and thus no true community or stability, no true pursuit of happiness. What benefits the whole benefits the individual as well. As Spear puts it, only hardness can make a great soul, and the cultivation of character gives us the inner exercise that makes our souls grow. A life of indulgence and ease, Spear concludes, leaves men and women weak, with no strength either themselves to bear or to achieve for others. Without seeking the power and strength that comes from building one's character, we will lament that when we need the power of self-mastery, we do not have it. Character offers a form of freedom that seems foreign in our modern age, but still deeply resonates At least for some of us. And Spear reminds us that as the companions we choose can mold our character, in the very same way, we can mold others. Remember, we live in a community. And in a community, one hand washes the other. Is our character influencing others for good and helping them build their own power and strength? Is it? Are we doing our part to be individuals of character and infuse our culture with and the nation with vitality? What grooves and lines are we engraving upon our character each and every day? Character is that thing that becomes our legacy. Our legacy is what we leave behind. What will your legacy be? What will, if you were to pass this very moment, what would those who know you say about you? Will they talk about the person they knew 10 years ago? Will they talk about the person they know today? Will what they say influence others to do things that you have done? Will what they say work towards a better good of the community? These are the things that speak to character. These are the things that speak to good character. These are the things that, in my opinion, we should all be aspiring towards. Now, if like what was said in the beginning, same situation, two individuals, two different perspectives, what then do you say about yourself? Is it in line with one of those perspectives? If you're honest, then that should be the correct thing as it relates to your character. Not to say that the other perceived thing is wrong. Just to say that maybe they don't understand. And that is what makes the difference. So I encourage you, know if your character is one that is beneficial to your community. And if it isn't, see what you can do to change it. Because then we end up having better communities. And in our individual community, if we can influence that to be better, then globally we can have a better community. Isn't that what we all want? Isn't that what we want for our children? If you don't want it for yourself, think about those coming up behind you.
Sound like a plan. Hypocrites, then we don't need them alone.
I want to thank Reggae Global Entertainment for sponsoring the previous segment. Give Reggae Global Entertainment a call to take care of your entertainment needs. 954-998-8034. Tell them you heard about them on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. This is where we get into our musical therapy and close out the night shift week. And we're kicking it off tonight with Jaway Life. New music from him called Hypocrite.
Hypocrites, then we don't need them alone. And the plane crash anytime it touch down. But that's how we the crown gun them out at home. Then we burn them down. Minding a them, bad minding a them. Jaway I go put judge a line in a them. Bad minding a them, bad minding a them. The autopsy show and minding a them. Bad minding a them, bad minding a them. Jaway I go put judge a line in a them. Bad minding a them, bad minding a them. The extra show and minding a them. Some of them are hypocrite and long carry penny. But them out of me like me don't need them friendship. And I do what I live and I wait to see me slip. Them a go get trick when them made a wanna hit. Some I wonder how we doing reggae music. Champion say it again and we choose it. But mind people only think on negative things. They like to see you step up doing positive things. Them pat behind your back with them bad mind feelings. Them want to see your team fail. Now why you feel prevail? Stay focused on your dream. Keep drop on your team. Lyrics can't stop coming. I'm let's see what I mean. Bad minding a them, bad minding a them. Jaway I go put judge a line in a them. Bad minding a them, bad minding a them. The autopsy show and minding a them. Bad minding a them, bad minding a them. Jaway I go put judge a line in a them. Bad minding a them, bad minding a them. The extra show and minding a them. Them bad mind, them not read up God line. Them life never sunny, won't kill me through money. Rasta soul is free. We not fi worry, we not fi worry. Them can't do me nothing, can't stop me from strive. I'm not talking about my body, it's always inside. That life after death I will collect the prize. Them hear this a one and they start to realize that it's a profit. No way the wicked gonna stop it. Let's let me up, remember say I just a blessing. So when we send this message, just please accept it. Just please accept it, my life no stress. Minding a them, bad minding a them. Jaway I go put judge a line in a them. Bad minding a them, bad minding a them. The autopsy show and minding a them. Bad minding a them, bad minding a them. Jaway I go put judge a line in a them. Bad minding a them, bad minding a them. The extra show and minding a them. We not be on my own no try. Never that Jam Rosa speak from him heart. Oh them want the mic when I weave it talk. Oh them want the mic when I weave it chat. We not be on my own no try. Jam Rosa speak from him heart. Oh them want the mic when I weave it talk. Oh them want the mic when I weave it chat. Minding a them, bad minding a them. Jaway I go put judge a line in a them. Bad minding a them, bad minding a them. The autopsy show and minding a them. Bad minding a them, bad minding a them. Jaway I go put judge a line in a them. Bad minding a them, bad minding a them. The extra show and minding a them. Jaway each and every day. Tony Kelly, Jamaica. Stay clean, stay positive.
They wrote me class and me rep on them. Pretentious deceivers, we act like friends. Waiting to see I fall, still I rise overall. Them forget both when we have them back from the start to the end. So you rise, you will fall under ball, me ascend. Hey, I'm a yard defend, I walk to them. Hey, every youth in the ghetto looking for a bright day. Whether musically or fire, hey, hey. Tired of the struggle and the bugger, ray, ray. And tomorrow, day to day. Look at me and the eye, them got through the thing. It's a rasta lover where the eye, them a bring. But behind me back, I just press to the bling. Solid and I want so me sing. Step on them. They wrote me clocks and me grip on them. Pretentious deceivers, we act like friends. Waiting to see I fall.
This is the sound of the real storm.
Them forget both when we have them back from the
A
start.
track called Step On Them.
Fall under ball, me a set. Hey, I'm a yard defend.
I want to thank GMAT Music Solutions for sponsoring this segment of the show.
Remember the days when finances were up. One stock we share and the place is a flatten. They tell you what we blazing. Now them eyes start rising. From Dubai to Manhattan, we travel to Rome, though we don't speak Latin. You sit then you slide like the sheet, them we're satin. No love I'm receiving. Did your heart stop beating? Step on them. They wrote me clocks and me grip on them. Pretentious deceivers, we act like friends. Getting to see I fall, still I rise overall. Them forget both when we have them back from won't be strong. Won't be forever, no, it won't be for long. Fire for the hater, where you sample your song still. Mess the right, not the wrong. Step on them. We wrote me clocks and me grip on them. Pretentious deceivers, we act like friend. Getting to see I fast till I rise overall. Them forget both when we have them back from the start to the end. So you rise, you will fall on the ball. Me a said, hey, you where you defend. I want to them. Every youth in the ghetto looking for a bright day. Whether musically or for your AK. Tired of the struggle and the bugger ray. And to mouth day to day. Look at me and the eye, them got through the thing. Things are rust all over when the eye them a bring. But me and me back are just pure stone nothing. Solid and a wall so me sing. Step on them. We wrote the clocks and me grip on them. Pretentious deceivers we act like friend. Waiting to see I fast till I rise overall. Them forget both when we have them back from the start to the end. So you rise, you will fall on the ball. We are send. They are why you defend. I want to them. We are step on them. We wrote me clocks and me grip on them. Pretentious deceivers we act like friend. Waiting to see I fast till I rise overall. Them forget both when we must bring salvation back. Where there is love, I'll be there. I'll reach out my hand to you. I have faith in all you do. Just call my name and I'll be there.
Oh, I'll be there to comfort you. I'll build my world of dreams around you. I'm so glad I found you, girl. I'll be there with a love so strong. I'll be your strength. You know I keep holding on.
Let me fill your heart with joy and laughter. Togetherness with its song of laughter. Just call my name and I'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be there to protect you with an unselfish love. I respect you. Just call my name and I'll be there.
Oh, baby, I'll be there to comfort you. I'll build my world of dreams around you. I'm so glad I found you, girl. I'll be there with a love so strong. I'll be your strength. You know I keep holding on.
And if you ever find someone new,
And DJ Kevin Strew, pull up that song, them like it, but
Yeah, bad for real.
Don't you know, baby, yeah. Don't you.
you and I must
Ed Robinson, I'll be there.
we must bring salvation back. Where there is love, I'll be there.
You know, I really don't know who is doing this track with.
I'll reach out my hand to you. I have faith in all.
I'm determined to find out though.
Just call my name and I'll be there.
Oh, I'll be there to comfort you. I'll build my world of dreams around you. I'm so glad I found you, girl. I'll be there with a love so strong. I'll be your strength. You know I keep holding on.
If you ever find someone new, I know she'd better be good to you. 'Cause if she doesn't, then I'll be there. Oh, baby, I'll be there. I'll be there. Just call my name, and I'll be there. Don't you know, baby, yeah. I'll be there, baby. I'll be there. Just call my name, and I'll be there. Don't you know, baby, yeah. I'll be there. I'll be I'll ride with the open tie. I'll run the whole damn line. I search every corner just to find you. With me is where you reside. Close my eyes.
This is Xavier Ward
Life is just like
working out with Skip Marley.
whenever you can
It's called All I Am.
It can be whatever. I got you through it all. When you hurt and you know
This is Musical Therapy closing out this week of the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew and this Real Talk show tonight.
Undeniable, girl, your love is undescribable. Yeah, greatest thing in all my life for you. So I'll never be unreliable. Said you can lean on me, everything on me. 'Cause where you are is where me want be. 'Cause you and me is all I have.
Whenever you can take the pressure, it can be whatever. I got you through it all. When you hurt and you know I feel it first, it's a blessing and a curse. I still got you through it all. Give you everything I am. My goals, my plans for you. I'd risk it all. Give you everything I am. Just take my hand. With you, I have it all.
Give you all I am, give you all I, give you all you need, give you all I, 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 give you everything I am. My goals, my plans for you. I risk it all. Give you everything I am. Just take my hand. With you, I have it all. Give you all I am. I risk it all for you. I am 'cause you're a blessing to my world.
Love cannot be a game that has no conclusion. Love is not just a dream that's built on illusion. It's more than something to feel. You can taste it and touch it, it's real. Love is when two people make it.
This is the sound of G. Cole.
Outside they can break it. If they
Yeah, South Florida's very own homegrown with G. Cole host.
to be where it cannot be free.
You can catch G. Cole just about every day on social media.
It's not just one night of moment of fire.
Homegrown with G. Cole.
It's a more
This one is What Love Is.
that builds on desire. It can't be bound by a chain. Can it be sharing our love forever? Love is a season forever. When two people blend it together. But it cannot go. Let's both of them know. They must give if their love is to live. And this is the kind of love that we know when we share. Girl, this is the kind of love that will always be there. Yes, love is what two people make it. Nothing outside cannot break it. If they understand that they can command love to be where it cannot be free.
This is the son of G Mac. So I went from G Cole to G Mac. And I want to say thanks to G Mac Music Solutions for sponsoring this segment of the show. G Mac Music Solution providing DJs, musicians, singers, musical equipment, audio engineers. Bring your event to life. Give them a call, 754-307-GMAC. That's 754-307-4622. Tell them you heard about them on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew.
That's why I say things you say you love. You're gonna
As we have, what, a little over 7 minutes to go in the show. It's that time of year.
to do what we all should do. Spread good cheer. See happiness of the children.
This is Hopeton Lindo. Brand new music from him for this Christmas season.
Friends coming together.
It's called This Season.
To what the weather. Tis the season. Christmas time again. So love without reason. Families and friends. Tis the season. Christmas time again. So love without reason. Families and friends. The holidays are finally here. And everyone feeling irate. Sweet reggae music playing everywhere. And people going out to party. Some say it's the reason for the
brings joy and happiness. We're celebrating life and living life to the fullest. Tis the season, Christmas time again. So love without reason, families and friends. Tis the season, Christmas time again. So love without reason, families and friends. Looking forward to kiss my lover under the mistletoe. I've heard about it many times before, so I'll be waiting at the door. Kids don't wanna go to sleep when they know it is Christmas Eve. While mom and dad had to wrap their presents, they try to take a peek. Tis the season, Christmas time again. So love without reason, families and friends. Yes, tis the season, Christmas time again. So love without reason, families and friends.
No greater gift than the gift of love. No greater joy than having you with me.
This is Peter G.
I'm so happy the holidays find us together.
It's called My Wish for Christmas.
The place I'd rather be.
My wish for Christmas
is having you here with me.
My wish for Christmas is spending time with you. My wish for Christmas
is how it's supposed to be.
My wish for Christmas is making dreams come true.
You're prettier than all the decorations.
That is oh so true.
Your smile is brighter than the stars.
Than the stars.
More special than a special occasion. Ooh, I just love the way you are. There's a time flies when you're having fun. I can't believe the year is almost done.
Nobody else but you
can make me feel the way I do. You make my dreams come true.
My wish for Christmas
is having you here with me.
My wish for Christmas
is spending it with
you. My wish for Christmas
is how it's supposed to be.
My wish for Christmas is making dreams come true.
No greater gift than the gift of love.
Love, sweet love.
No greater gift.
Having you here with me.
What will you be doing on Christmas Day?
That we're here together.
I'll tell you this.
No other place I'd rather.
I doubt I will be here doing the show.
Christmas
is having you here with me.
Hey,
my wish,
you know, it's Christmas.
Spending it with you.
I don't know.
My wish for Christmas.
Stay tuned. I'll let you know what's happening on the day.
My wish for Christmas is making dreams come.
I really can't tell you yay nor nay at this point in time. We'll see what happens then. I'm gonna leave out of here with a little drummer girl, courtesy of Naya Blue. Well, Nia Blue. I want to thank you each and everyone for tuning in. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for sharing. Remember, look out for your community. Your community is not the development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So those that you pass on the bus, on the plane, on the boat, on the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are your neighbors. Do something good for one of them today. You never know who's gonna do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Steele. This is how I like to do it to you, for you, and with you. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 to midnight. Don't know how next Tuesday and Wednesday gonna shape up. But as you go into the strong end, I encourage you to be good. If you can't be good at it. Do catch my sister from another mister tomorrow, Melissa. Yep, MJ Media. You can catch Melissa Jane live on melissajaneshow.com. melissajane.com. Catch the Melissa Jane Show. This is where I leave you, but I'll be back. Y'all take care until we meet again. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you, wherever you are in the world. From here in South Florida, good night.
Is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.